What's up guys, Nolan here, and today we're going to be talking about the future of Escape from Tarkov and what is to come. None of what I will be talking about is set in stone, and very little has actual content to show yet, but I absolutely guarantee you guys I have heard it from Nikita himself or one of the devs over the years that I have been following this game. When it comes to gear, there will be a massive change to the vest system where you'll be able to swap armor plates out as they get damaged while keeping the vest the same. Nikita also said you could even do it while in raid if you bring extras with you. On top of choosing which armor a vest gets, you will also be able to choose what storage you can have on it. You can choose what size the slots are and how many you have compared to the vest and how much inventory space you can actually have on the vest itself. You will be able to modify every aspect of your vest just as much as weapons, it seems. On top of that, you can expect loads of new backpacks, helmets, and facewear too. A new health system will be coming for significant injuries where you will need to properly tourniquet and clot a big hole before bandaging, just as you would in real life, although you will still be able to use surgery to get it back to usable in just a couple minutes. Addiction will be added, where if you use too many painkillers, you will become dependent on them and you will begin to become addicted, and the worse you get, the harder it will be to wean off them. Next is weapons. BSG have said numerous times that they want EFT to be the encyclopedia of guns for video games, and they will add as many as they can possibly cram in to Escape from Tarkov. So far, we have gotten a yes about the G3, the G36, Tavor, MAC-10, PSG-1, the Bullpup AK, Uzi, L85, ARX, M249 Saw, KSG Shotgun, Steyr AUG, PPSH, PP2000, the FAMAS, Scorpion and Scorpion Evo, AK5, SCAR, and pretty much any and all variants you can think of for an M4 and AK platform. For pistols, expect to see some CZs, HKs, Smith & Wesson, and maybe some others mixed in. For guns that we've actually seen as work in progress, there's the SIG MCX series, Magpul Masada, RPD, Chris Vector, 1911 pistol, the UMP45, Mossberg shotgun, double barrel shotgun, and Keltec RFB. As I'm sure I have missed some, when it comes to questioning whether a gun will be in the game or not, just think whether the gun is even remotely used in current conflict around the world, and if it is, then it is probably planned or already work in progress for EFT, especially if it's the same caliber as something that is already in the game. Nikita has mentioned electronics needing batteries to function, such as the thermal and night vision optics. You may need to start paying attention to this just as you would pay attention to the durability of a weapon or armor, just with batteries. You will also see weapon malfunctions come into the game, and this is if it has poor materials or low durability. Nikita has mentioned that it will be easily avoided if you make sure that your weapon is repaired well. The reasoning behind this is to combat people shooting thousands of rounds through a gun in a single raid, as no weapon will be able to function through that punishment in such a short amount of time. For gear, we have plenty of new NVGs, thermal optics, rangefinders, compasses, working IR lights and lasers, and of course, plenty of attachments to boot, including suppressors and various muzzle devices, optics, grips, lights, underbarrel, and standalone grenade launchers. There will be various grenades added to the launchers with the usual frag and flash, but also flares and smoke. A flare gun will be added that can also shoot some special grenades on top of the flares. Along with the grenade launchers, there will be AT launchers such as the RPG, the Law, and the AT4. There will also be anti-personnel mines and claymores added. The mines will be the traditional pressure plates, while the claymores will be triggered by a clacker and not automatic. Although I can't find it, I am pretty sure I have, however, heard Nikita mention tripwires, in which case you could probably set those to a claymore and maybe even grenades. The addition of the launchers, mines, and actually the flares will of course make waves in game, but all will be balanced in time, since these are such powerful weapons, and the flares will significantly degrade the usefulness of NVGs at night. BSG have continuously shown that they can quickly make changes that are for the best in terms of the future of the game and sticking to the plan of the game. And if you thought that these were heavy weapons, the original design of the reserve map had working mortars and recoilless rifles, same as the grenade launchers and heavy machine guns, so we may see a comeback to those as well. For maps, we have streets, suburbs, lighthouse, town, and terminal. We have seen work on suburbs and streets in the past, and Nikita has said that the lighthouse may be the tutorial zone for EFT. The lore behind that location will be the USEC company's home base. Streets will have the labs location, and you will need to enter streets with a labs card, find the entrance, then enter it in order to access labs. In order to get out of labs, you will need to survive it, then make it back to streets, then extract from there. Nikita has mentioned that they want Streets to have a 40-player limit, which is almost quadruple the usual limit. He has also said that Suburbs and Streets will be at a level of detail no video game has ever done for an urban location, which is referring to the amount of vast multi-story buildings that will be practically all open to explore. For Lighthouse, Nikita has mentioned the possibility of not being able to access it normally, but only by train. When it comes to maps, Nikita has said repeatedly that there will be more maps coming in the post-launch DLC, but everything we see now and more will be in before launch. We have already seen an overhaul of Interchange, with Customs and Factory getting some love next. We actually saw some work-in-progress screenshots of Customs where they are going to add to the map again around the construction area. The ambush fights in Elbow may be a thing of the past soon, if what we are looking at is correct. Factory will be getting more space and exits as well. The town location has been talked about very few times, and the only real info that we have on it is that it'll just look like a normal suburban housing setup, and to picture the western part of Shoreline with the houses and villas just in a bigger area. Terminal is not supposed to be an airport, but a shipping terminal, and is right next to Shoreline along with its military base that you use as the CCP temporary exit. To get a picture of it, you can just see it from Shoreline. Expect to see that, but just in more detail. Nikita has also said that every map will be overhauled and iterated on before release. There's going to be new voice lines coming for bears, and they're going to be speaking broken English, so those of us that don't understand Russian will still be able to understand the emotes. The entire skill tree will be reworked from the ground up before launch. No specific details, but Nikita just recently confirmed that this will happen. With the new weight system, they are listening to feedback, and they will be adding a hotkey to ditch your backpack. That way, if you get in a fight, you can drop it quickly to free up weight and be more mobile. Lockpicking, breaking, and prying open doors is coming so that you can enter rooms that you do not have the key for. The lockpicking will take a long time depending on the lock, and the prying open or breaking open will make a lot of noise. There's going to be significant animation changes. A reach goal for the team will be for melee takedowns like something out of Battlefield, but more animation changes will be coming, including vaulting, working ladders, and switching hands for your weapon in order to lean around a corner better. Being able to bring friends into an offline mode with you is planned, however they need to set up a special server system due to a potential security risk with these offline modes. Automatic healing as a service will be coming soon, where you can go to Therapist, select services, and heal your PMC for a price. This is definitely going to help out the people that are keeping too many meds in their inventory so that they can heal when outside of a raid. Now you can just go to Therapist and do it there. And yes, this will work the same as the cosmetic clothing tab you get from Ragman, which, while we're on the subject, yes, you will be seeing loads more clothing for both Bear and USEC coming in the future. Next is going to be airdrops, where I have heard Nikita mention in the past that Tarkov is supposed to be a no-fly zone, but maybe their scope has changed a little bit since the last time that he said that, because we have actually seen work in progress and some finished models of airdrop crates. And Nikita himself did mention that there will be 3 types. There will be drops that will already be on the ground, which you will need to find in raid. There will be random drops where you will see and hear either a plane or a helicopter coming to drop them off, and you will need to go to the location and pick it up. And there will also be a third type of airdrop where you can call in yourself. You'll have to wait for the airdrop to come to you, and then you'll have to loot it and get out of the raid with that loot. More dynamic loot is being worked in, where yes, there will be single locations where items are more likely to spawn, but also a wider variety from different locations. Those of you who were playing a couple years ago will remember how useless jackets were, but now they are pretty viable to hit, especially on rat runs. When it comes to NPCs, we can expect more traders and maybe even live traders where you can only access in raid and possibly on the lighthouse location. Every map will have at least one of its own scav bosses, with the bigger maps possibly having multiple, and the next boss is going to be coming to Shoreline, and we've already seen work in progress on the boss's vest. Scavs will get an overhaul where they will act more like human beings. You'll find them moving differently while idle and interacting with other scavs differently, like smoking cigarettes or messing with their gear. We will also have the addition of a new NPC faction called the cultists. They are the people behind the creepy marked rooms around Tarkov. Nikita has said that they are actually finished, but they will be added as a surprise, and nobody but the dev team will know when they'll pop up. They will have poison knives that, if cut, will kill in minutes if not treated properly. They will also be around only at night, purposely making very little noise to try and ambush you. It's going to be terrifying, and I love it. You will be able to craft the antidote to the poison in your hideout too. For PvP lovers, there will be the arena, where you will not lose any gear if you die, and for those of you that have played Call of Duty Warzone or at least seen it, this will be very similar to the Gulag, where people will be able to watch and bet on the players playing. The arena mode will also have its own separate currency that you can use to buy gear that can be used and lost in the original world. Nikita has mentioned that there will be solo and team play along with its own map for the arena. The karma system will make it so that those who kill members of their own faction will get passively punished in terms of RNG on on loot and things like weapon malfunctions. So if you are a PMC who kills on sight or a promoter of scav on scav violence, then you really better be careful after the karma system is implemented, because things are going to get significantly more difficult for you. And you guys thought positive identification was hard now when you're playing with your friends? Just wait until it actually matters that you kill things on sight. Lore for Tarkov. We have very little information on what is happening in Tarkov and why, but Nikita has said that the next wipe in patch 12.6 will be because they want to test a new quest line directly from the lore of EFT, so we won't have to wait too much longer to see. Last but not least, we have the kill cam, which don't worry, it will not work as it does normally, and I have to say Nikita was on the fence about whether or not it will make it into the game, but I have heard it repeatedly, so it's worth mentioning in this video. Every raid has a time limit somewhere between 30 and 60 minutes usually. If the kill cam is implemented, you will have to wait until the raid is complete, but you will be able to use one of Peacekeeper's drones to watch the entire raid back, so that you can see who killed you, where they were, or if you missed any loot. I do have to mention that some of these things like the guns and arena mode could be after full release, but given the track record Nikita has had, I don't believe they will be. Now for stuff we know is coming after release. We have Scav Life, Hideout Editions, Maps, and Weather. Although there may be some content DLC with guns and gear, in terms of what we know so far for post-launch DLC, there will only be features and locations updates. The Scav Life DLC will allow you to play as a Scav similar to your PMC, although depending on the level, you can spawn as a raider or a boss. These will have their own tasks as well. The hideout editions will be along the lines of more craftable items and storage, but Nikita has also said that there will be added rooms. Unfortunately, no other info past that. The new maps have been a secret, but Nikita did mention post-launch DLC containing new locations. Another DLC we've heard about is Weather, where snow and other significant changes will be coming to Tarkov. Now this is a separate category for things we know BSG have mentioned and even worked on, but may not end up in the game. Everyone I am sure has had a bad run-in with the audio bugging out in EFT, where somebody sounds like they're above you, but they're actually really below you, and similar. Steam Audio is a completely redesigned sound delivery system that hopefully will help with this. Although I'm not sure if BSG have had some issues with it or what, because they have gone really quiet on it. Open world is the end game that BSG have had in mind for a very long time, and it will go along with the lore of the game. They have mentioned that in the past, on launch, you will only have access to one map at a time, and you will need to survive a map in order to gain access to another. It may have to be based on which exit you take too. For those of you who don't know, all of the maps are practically on top of each other. You can see reserve from shoreline, customs from reserve, and more. Once you have survived every map, there will supposedly be an open world feature where you can enter wherever you want and exit wherever you want. Example being entering the game on shoreline and exiting on woods. As the days have gone by, we've heard less and less about this though, so we'll see if it actually happens. Now, last but not least, VoIP, which is a system that allows players to communicate by voice in-game. Nikita has been torn on this subject because everyone who has played a game with VoIP knows the issues that can come from it if you give people the opportunity to speak freely through the internet. It would not be difficult to implement, but Nikita really doesn't want to ruin the feel of Tarkov with, in his own words, children playing Hitler speeches through the microphone. I personally feel that VoIP needs to be in a game like Escape from Tarkov because it'll make squad play so much better. And if anybody has an issue with it, just add an extra feature to be able to turn it off completely, and anybody that turns it off can just be using the emotes like we've been using for the past few years. So that's everything I've been able to suck up over the past few years of me obsessing over this game. If there's anything you think I've missed, be sure to let me know in the comments. To learn anything that you want about Escape from Tarkov in a short, clear, no BS fashion, you can check out my EFT Like a Pro playlist. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, you know the drill. If you lack the critical information, then you can ask me during one of my live streams. Otherwise, I hope you guys at least learned something, and I also hope you have a nice day. See you guys.